Coming up on this episode of Admiral Ocean, we'll see how members of the community teamed up with the AIG program to bring awareness to the dangers of drunk driving. We'll find out how some students got help dealing with stress of exams from a furry friend. We get the inside story on how a business class learned how the art world and marketing go together. We'll take you to the big unveiling of Team Fusion's competition robot. And of course, we'll have updates on sports. Today is March 20th, 2026, and this is Admiral Ocean.
Good morning, Gulfport High. I'm Johnny Blake.
And I'm Julie McHugh, and this is episode 20 of season 7. Thanks for joining us.
It's almost time. Dresses have been bought, tux is rented, makeup and hair are being fixed. Prom is here. But along with all the excitement and magic that are part of prom, it also comes with responsibility. Responsibility to make good decisions. Over the last several years, the Mississippi Highway Patrol has seen an increase in teens driving while impaired from alcohol. Yesterday, students from AIG's Law and Public Safety classes collaborated with Emergency Response Services to stage a reenactment of a drunk driving accident. The Gulfport Police and Fire Departments, along with Pafford Ambulance Services, helped the students produce the dramatitation in order to bring awareness to those about to be participating in prom activities. The reenactment was with quite realistic visuals that were at times uncomfortable to watch, but that is what the organizers want. The whole point of this simulation was to demonstrate the severity of impaired and distracted driving to an audience who often think they're not going to fall victim to the statistics.
I think that because they weren't just being talked at, they actually were forced to see the grief and the regret and all of the gory truths of drunk driving. I feel like they'll take it to heart a little bit more. I mean, I really want them to think about the consequences of those actions. I would rather be the annoying friend who makes people stay home or takes their keys or does this or does that to prevent them from driving under the influence or driving with someone under the influence, because I'd rather have them alive and rolling their eyes and calling me annoying than never seeing them again.
Students couldn't help but come away from this demonstration without being affected by the powerful reenactment. Organizers believe that doing demonstrations like this can help make students think before they make choices that could forever change lives.
We put together this entire event for the students to experience a full accident that involves a drunk driver and the impact it has not only on the drunk driver being arrested and go to jail, but the impact it has on the other passengers of the vehicle, all the way into including one of the passengers dying on the scene.
Mr. Nikase, the law and public safety instructor, feels this is another great example of how our community comes together with GHS to help educate and influence the lives of our students.
This week was the 9th week of the term, and everyone has exams to take. Studying and the pressure of making the grade can really build during exam week. If we aren't careful, the stress can really get to us. The members of the GHS Beta Club recognize this and arrange for a therapy dog to visit GHS.
So therapy dogs are really good for calming your nerves. They help you release a natural dopamine response, so that happy feeling you get when you touch a puppy. So having them here as we approach testing season will really help calm students down and get them into the mode to test, as well as bring a smile to everybody's face, because who doesn't love getting to pet a dog on your way to lunch?
Monday, Michael Brown from Visiting Pets of South Mississippi brought a black lab to our campus. Michael and Visiting Pets takes therapy dogs to places around the coast, providing emotional support for people who need a little comfort during a stressful time.
Training for a therapy dog really amounts to a lot of it's the basic obedience training that they're really required to meet.
Students were able to sign up last week to spend some time de-stressing from the rigors of the 9 weeks exams.
It can be very stressful, like things piling up, like different subjects piling up one-on-one, or just being on a time crunch, or just having to study last minute.
Really stressful with all your classes and all the tests. I don't know, it does get really stressful.
It's almost kind of magic. Just by petting the dog, you feel a little happier. You feel a little calmer. And it just makes your day better. You still have to take that test, but hanging out with nature's therapist seems to help the nerves before you do.
Last week, a classroom in the AIG was transformed into a high-stakes corporate gallery where students learned that marketing is as much of an art as it is a science. Mr. Turner's business marketing and finance classes conducted a week-long project they referred to as the Louvre Project. It was a rigorous 3-day challenge that students took to synthesize complex economic theories and visual masterpieces in the gallery. Students acted as industry consultants, analyzing how the 4 Ps, product, price, place, and promotion, intersect to drive consumer behavior and global commerce. Students started the project by deciding what inspires them and then drafting a sketch. On the second day, they were transferring their work to sketches to a work of art on canvas, which had demonstrated why the handmade past purchases in order to analyze the marketing mix that influenced their purchases.
So this is based off a Drake song, 7 a.m. on Bridal Path, and that's the lyrics right here. And we got Denmark right here. This is Denmark and this is Copenhagen.
The finale saw the classroom doors open to the rest of the school as the Louvre Art Museum, where finished paintings that presented marketing plans could be viewed. By the end of the project, students acted as industry professionals looking into market segmentation, buying decisions, and customer relations.
We created these paintings to have the Gulfport High School Louvre to show others in the school that it can be fun, business can be fun, and entrepreneurship is fun.
At the close of the exhibit, these students hadn't just learned how to sell products, but also how to interpret the complex motivations of the consumers in the modern world.
It's that time of year. Flowers are blooming, and the birds are building their nests and laying their eggs. And engineers in robotics are finishing their new robot. Last Thursday, the community was invited to the Admiral Theater to see the official reveal of Team Fusion's competition robot for the 2026 season.
So this is our 2026 MRC robot named Rocket.
Team Fusion spent hours planning, designing, and building the robot they will use in competitions. They tested it and put it through paces, making sure it's ready to take on this competition.
We're still working on it. We still have some things that we're adjusting to it. So of course, when we had the robot reveal, we had like a little bit of problems, issues with it working just a little bit when we were trying to demonstrate it on the actual stage in front of everybody. The shooter wasn't working how it was supposed to. So we got one good take of it shooting, and then it kind of messed up there at the end, but we got it working once we got back to the engineering lab and we got it back on the field and we worked on it and fixed it. So it wasn't that big of an issue for us.
Issues and little malfunctions is all just part of it. The process is actually what makes the team even better. They work together to problem solve and make corrections as they need to. By the time the competition begins today, they'll have the kinks worked out. We know Team Fusion will make us proud. Represent the Admirals well. Good luck on this competition.
Not only do we have great things happening here at the high school, but there are people making big news all around the Gulfport School District. The 4th grade at 28th Street Elementary is leading the way in reading and math. They've been making huge progress in their iReady reading and iReady math each week this term. In math, these students have been tackling dividing whole numbers, fractions, and word problems. In reading, they have been enjoying informational texts while learning about space exploration. And the learning has carried over to science as they have been learning about different types of energy and sound. These 4th graders have been working so hard every day, and the progress is getting noticed. 6th graders at Bayview Middle School just got a real lesson in physics. Students used the engineering design process to design, build, and test a device that would deliver a raw egg unharmed from a 40-foot drop. The students had to use their knowledge about forces, energy, and safety devices to build their device. They had several design constraints, such as parachute restrictions on the materials they could use, no top, a seatbelt, and the device had to be at least 1 square foot in size. Students built their devices in class and had a chance to test at least 2 times to make modifications before the big drop. This was just another great way Gulfport School District teachers are putting students hands-on in the learning process. Last week, Gulfport School Board announced Dr. Courtney Ladner as our new Director of Special Education. A graduate of Gulfport High, Dr. Ladner began her career in special education in 2014 and had several students across all grade levels. Dr. Ladner holds a bachelor's degree in elementary and special education from the University of Southern Mississippi, a master's degree in mild, moderate disabilities and psychometry, a specialist degree in education leadership from William Carey University, and a doctorate in educational leadership. We congratulate Dr. Ladner on this exciting new role she's beginning.
Admirals make us proud in the classroom, in the community, and on the playing field. Let's go to the news desk to get the latest in Admiral sports.
Hey Admirals, I'm Nolan Bridges.
And I'm Nate Coleman, and this is your weekly sports update.
Thanks for joining us.
Tennis matched up against Harris Central this past Monday. The Admirals won 7-0 and everyone played their hearts out. Their next match is against Yabberville on the 23rd. Admiral Baseball played against Collierville at the Herb last Friday. The Admirals won 4-2, closing up the 2026 Battle at the Beach. This win improves their record to 8-5, being second in district with a 3-0 record. Their next game is tonight at West Harrison. This will be the second game of the series.
Softball matched up against St. Martin last Friday. The final score was 15-5 Admirals. This game was a quick one as they only played 5 innings. With the 15 runs, they recorded 10 hits. In the first 2 innings, Scuffport scored 11 runs, and in the 5th, they scored 4, which leads their record to 8-5 at the time of recording. The next game is going to take place on Tuesday, March 24th against Niagaraville.
There are 3 institutes in the AIG, and many people think that each institute just does its own thing without any interaction with the others. But actually, there is a cross-curricular learning happening all the time. In today's feature story, reporter McComb Rawls shows us how a CAB teacher and a STEM teacher collaborate to bring their classes a learning experience that pulls from both CAB and STEM.
On Tuesday, Mr. Wadsworth and Mr. Curry collaborated to bring their classes to STEM Haven for an engaging learning experience. Students had the opportunity to learn about the Education and Marketing Development Program of the Native Plant Produce Program led by Mississippi State University. Students were able to participate in the hands-on experience right in their own learning environment. The systems taught in this program were the aquaponics system, marsh grass growth, and the crawfish vehicle project. During the days that students do this, they learn about the importance of native plants, how they are grown and maintained, and how the produce is marketed.
I feel like this is a very unique experience, and it's super cool.
And we actually have good bacteria here. This water's nice and clean. You could drink it if you wanted to.
It helps me advance my career and learn more knowledge about things in the trade world.
They also explore how education and marketing work together to promote sustainability, community involvement, and economic growth.
So we spend a lot of time out here in STEM Haven to teach kids some skills that they can use in the real world.
The most important part of this is for our students to be able to learn the things about STEM in all areas, and eventually what it can do is give them a career in this field.
This impacts my future because I can learn stuff early on while I'm in high school before I get out of high school.
The program shows an example of real-world connections between agriculture, business, and environmental science.
The reason it is important to grow your own plants is because it is a lot cheaper, safer, and you actually know what's being put into the plant.
Having plants around is important anyways because they produce oxygen, provide food for people and animals, and help keep ecosystems balanced. When plants grow well, farms can produce more crops and natural habitats stay healthy.
We want to grow our own plants because it's an easier option, it's cleaner, and it's healthier.
Growing marsh grass is really important for the environment because it prevents erosion and it helps the ecosystem.
I think it's important because it helps the ecosystem and teaches the importance of maintaining and selling plants.
Because of this, scientists and farmers study plant growth and understand how to improve it and protect the environment. This made learning interactive and meaningful. By utilizing STEM Haven on campus, they create an opportunity for students to expand their knowledge, explore new interests, and better understand the value of community-based education.
Step up to the mic, Admirals, and let your voice be heard. March is Women's History Month. Let us know your opinion on the role that women play in history. Here's Ian Price with this week's Student Voice.
Today marks the end of the third quarter and the beginning of the final quarter of the school year. It also marks our final school day in March, which is Women's History Month. This is a month meant to highlight the importance of women's history while also showing how much of an impact they have on the world.
We think the importance of Women's History Month is to emphasize the work women have put in throughout the years to have their voices heard.
And I also think so that going in the future we can not repeat history and grow from it.
Women's History Month is important because women are great and we should just take time to appreciate us more because we're awesome.
Women don't really get a lot of recognition for what they've done with inventions and all that kind of stuff, so it really brings into light what all we've done for the world.
I'd say their mental health and less objectification of women. And it shows, based on what he's saying, it shows it includes everybody and doesn't just leave women out. It shows that everybody is important.
I think it's very important that women have the right to vote and that since they're different from men, just to share their thoughts and opinions as well.
Women should have equal rights and be treated equally as men and stuff.
Women's history is very important because a lot of women have done very influential things in the world, and
they don't get a lot of like recognition for it. But this is a month just for that.
Women's history is like very important because without women, we wouldn't have most of the stuff we have today. Like, and people wouldn't be able to be born without women. So, like.
That's all for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and YouTube where you can catch current and past episodes of Admiral Ocean. And follow us on Instagram where we'll have breaking news, special info between episodes, and a weather feature as well. We'll be out for 2 weeks with intercession and spring break, but we'll be back soon with another episode of Admiral Ocean. Enjoy the break as always, and thank you for watching.